Welcome back to the channel where pocket change can make you rich. Rarest coins today, we're diving into one of the most talked about coins in American history. It's a coin so common, so ordinary, that most people wouldn't think twice about spending it on a coffee. But what if I told you that one version of the 1964 Jefferson nickel could be worth up to $1.9 million? That's not a typo. That's a real number. A nickel from 1964, worth almost $2 million. And the best part? You might have one sitting in your coin jar, in your drawer, or even hiding in your pocket right now. Let's go back in time to understand why this coin is so special. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse features the profile of President Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse shows his Virginia estate, Monticello. The design remained unchanged for decades and became one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. By 1964, the U.S. Mint was producing coins at a record pace. This was the height of the coin shortage in America. People were hoarding silver coins, vending machines were becoming more common, and demand for small change was through the roof. As a result, the U.S. Mint produced over 1.7 billion Jefferson nickels in 1964, more than any other year in the series. They were minted at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while coins from Denver carry a small D on the reverse, next to Monticello. Now here's where things get interesting. Because 1964 was such a high mintage year, most collectors assumed the coins were worthless. And for the most part, they were right. Even today, a circulated 1964 Jefferson nickel is usually worth no more than 5 to 10 cents. A high-grade uncirculated example might sell for $1 to $5. Nothing too exciting, but in the world of coin collecting, it only takes one mistake at the U.S. Mint to turn a common coin into a priceless treasure. And that's exactly what happened with a very specific 1964 Jefferson nickel. Let's talk about the mystery that in 1964, the Mint made a critical decision. They were preparing to change the metal composition of coins because of rising silver prices. While the nickel does not contain silver, the Mint was testing various alloys and planchets during this transition period. That led to a series of experimental coins, many of which were never meant to leave the mint. One of these experimental errors is believed to be the 1964 Jefferson nickel struck on a special silver planchet, or possibly a foreign planchet. This means it was struck on a blank disc of metal that wasn't meant for standard circulation. Combine that with a possible mirror-proof finish, and you have a unique, one-of-a-kind coin. There is strong evidence that a small number of these coins accidentally made it out into circulation. One such coin, verified by top grading companies, was reportedly auctioned for close to $1.9 million due to its composition, condition, and extreme rarity. So how do you identify a rare 1964 Jefferson nickel? Here are a few things to look for. First, the weight. A standard 1964 nickel should weigh exactly 5 grams. If your coin weighs more or less, it could be struck on a wrong planchet. Use a digital scale to check. Second, look for full steps on Monticello. This refers to the stairs at the base of the building on the reverse. If all 6 steps are fully visible and unbroken, the coin is considered to have full steps, a major indicator of a strong strike and higher value. Third, watch out for proof-like surfaces. These coins have a shiny, mirror-like finish and may have been struck from specially prepared dies. Most 1964 nickels were business strikes, but a small number of proofs were also made. If yours has an unusually sharp design with reflective fields, you may have something special. Now let's talk value. A regular 1964 nickel in average condition is only worth 5 cents. In high mint state grades like MS65 or MS66 with full steps, the value can jump to $50 or $100. The very best examples, graded MS67 with full steps, have sold for more than $10,000. But a unique error coin, like the rumored silver planchet or foreign metal strike, especially in uncirculated condition, can push into 6 or even 7 figures. That's how one 1964 Jefferson nickel reached the unbelievable price of $1.9 million. It's important to understand that these coins are extremely rare. You're not going to find $1 million nickel every time you check your change. But the fact that it's even possible, that's what makes this hobby so exciting. It's like treasure hunting, and the treasure could be hiding in plain sight. So what should you do right now? Step 1, check your change. Go through your old coin rolls, your piggy banks, your junk drawers. Look for any 1964 nickels, especially those in unusually good condition. Step 2, weigh them. If a coin weighs more or less than 5 grams, that's a red flag and a reason to investigate further. Step 3, examine the coin under good lighting or magnification. Look for full steps on Monticello, doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or anything that looks unusual. And finally, if you find a coin that looks promising, don't clean it, don't alter it, and don't try to grade it yourself. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. They'll examine it, grade it, and let you know if you've struck gold, or in this case, nickel. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby. For some people, it's become a life-changing journey. One forgotten coin from 1964 turned out to be worth $1.9 million. Imagine being the person who found that coin. Imagine walking into a coin shop thinking you have a 5-cent piece and walking out a millionaire. But that's not just luck. That's the magic of knowing what to look for. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want more real-life coin finds, mint error deep dives, and treasure hunting tips, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. There's a world of hidden value out there, and we're here to help you find it. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and maybe the next $1 million coin will be yours. Would you like a version of this adapted for a short, TikTok, or an Instagram reel? Or are you looking for a script with call-to-action templates and visual suggestions? Welcome back to the channel where coins aren't just pocket change, they're potential gold mines. Rarest coins today, we're diving into a coin that you've probably seen 1,000 times and maybe even spent without a second thought. But if you've got the right version, this small coin could change your life. I'm talking about the 1974 Jefferson nickel. Some versions of this humble 5-cent piece have sold for thousands of dollars. And one ultra-rare version has been valued at a staggering $1.5 million. That's right. A 5-cent coin that could be worth more than your house. So what makes this nickel so valuable? What's the history behind it? And how do you know if you're holding a $1 million mistake? Let's break it all down. Let's start with a little history. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American currency since 1938. Designed by German-American sculptor Felix Schlag, the obverse features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, while the reverse shows his famous Virginia estate, Monticello. The design remained largely unchanged until 2004, making the Jefferson nickel one of the most recognizable and longest-running coin series in U.S. history. Now let's jump to the year 1974. This was a time of political tension, economic uncertainty, and high inflation. The country was still recovering from the Vietnam War, and the Watergate scandal was shaking the government to its core. In the coin world, however, 1974 was considered a pretty standard year. Over 277 million Jefferson nickels were minted in Philadelphia that year, and another 201 million were produced in Denver. These coins were struck using standard copper-nickel composition, weighing 5 grams each, with no silver or precious metal content. For the average collector, most 1974 Jefferson nickels are worth just their face value, 5 cents. In higher mint state condition, like MS-65 or MS-66, they might fetch between $5 and $15. A perfect MS-67 can sometimes go for around $50 to $100 if it's certified by PCGS or NGC. But that's not the story we're here for today. One particular 1974 Jefferson nickel has been making headlines in the numismatic world. This isn't your average nickel. This is an ultra-rare mint error that has stunned collectors and even baffled coin experts. And it's reportedly worth up to $1.5 million. So what's the deal? The coin in question is believed to be a wrong planchet error combined with an extreme double strike and possibly struck using an experimental alloy that was never released into public circulation. This means that somewhere deep inside the U.S. Mint in 1974, something went wrong or very, very right. Depending on how you look at it, a planchet is the blank disc of metal that gets struck into a coin. Most nickels are struck on a 5-gram copper-nickel planchet. But in this rare case, a 1974 Jefferson nickel was accidentally struck on a foreign planchet intended for another country's coin. It may have also involved an experimental mix of metal, adding to its mystery and rarity. This type of mint error is incredibly rare. We're talking about one known specimen. Just one. Now couple that mistake with an incredible condition. The coin is reportedly in mint state with minimal signs of wear, and you have a perfect storm of value. This is not just a rare coin. It's a one-of-a-kind mistake, a coin that was never supposed to exist. And that's what makes it so desirable. Serious collectors and high-end investors know that when it comes to rare coins, it's all about uniqueness, condition, and documented error. When all three of those things align, prices can skyrocket. That's how you go from a 5-cent coin to a 7-figure auction. So here's the big question. Could you be holding one of these rare nickels without even knowing it? It's not impossible. While the specific $1.5 million coin is considered one of a kind, there are other valuable 1974 Jefferson nickels that you can still find in the wild. For example, a coin with a full steps designation, where all 6 steps of Monticello on the reverse are clearly visible, can dramatically increase its value. Full steps examples in MS66 or higher are rare and highly sought after by collectors. Also, always keep an eye out for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or misaligned dies. These kinds of mint errors can range in value from $50 all the way into the thousands, depending on the severity and the condition. Here's what you should do right now. Check your coin jars. Look in that drawer where you keep loose change. Dig into your old piggy banks. Pull out every 1974 Jefferson nickel you can find and examine it closely. First, weigh it. A standard nickel should weigh exactly 5 grams. If the weight is off, it might be struck on the wrong planchet. Next, examine it under a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for anything unusual, off-center images, doubled letters or numbers, missing steps on Monticello, or strange coloration. Finally, if you find something that looks off, don't guess. Send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Professional authentication is the only way to confirm the rarity and potentially unlock massive value. Now let's talk real numbers for a moment. Most 1974 Jefferson nickels are worth just 5 cents. Some high-grade versions might get you $50 to $100. But rare mint errors and full steps varieties can bring in hundreds or even thousands. And that one legendary error nickel from 1974. If the reports are true and it ends up at a high-profile auction, we're talking about a final price tag in the range of $1.5 million. That's not a guess. That's the power of extreme rarity in the world of coin collecting. So what does this all mean for you? It means don't overlook the small stuff. It means treasure can be hiding in plain sight. And most importantly, it means that with a little knowledge, patience, and curiosity, you just might strike gold. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or fascinating, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We've got a lot more hidden treasures to reveal. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and remember, that $1 million nickel might be closer than you think. Would you like this formatted into sections for easier YouTube editing or broken down into a short version for social media posts like YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels? Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today's story is one that will blow your mind. We're diving deep into a seemingly ordinary coin that might be hiding in your pocket change right now. It's the 1989 P. Jefferson nickel, and yes, believe it or not, one rare variety of this coin is reportedly worth up to $1.4 million. You heard that right. A nickel, 5 cents, worth over $1 million. Let's get into why. First, let's talk about the history of the Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel has been in circulation since 1938. It was introduced to replace the Buffalo nickel, and it features the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse, or front, and his Virginia home Monticello on the reverse, or back. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin has undergone several changes over the years, but the core design remained the same until the Westward Journey series in 2004. Now fast forward to 1989. This was not a year known for rare nickels. In fact, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced over 600 million of these coins in that year alone. The 1989 P. Jefferson nickel is one of the most common nickels out there. Or so it seems. That here's where it gets interesting. Most of these nickels are only worth their face value, 5 cents. Maybe 10 to 20 cents if they're in uncirculated condition. A really sharp, mint state 1989 P nickel could sell for a few dollars to a collector. So how is it that one of them sold for over $1 million? Let's break it down. There is a rare error variety of the 1989 P. Jefferson nickel that has stunned the numismatic world. This isn't just any mint error. We're talking about a coin that was mistakenly struck on the wrong planchet. Not a standard nickel planchet, but something else entirely. Some of these rare 1989 P nickels were struck on experimental planchets, possibly meant for foreign coins or for testing new materials. These off-metal errors are incredibly scarce, and when authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, they can sell for jaw-dropping amounts. But there's one specific 1989 P nickel that's in a class of its own. It was discovered to have a double strike error combined with a wrong planchet, and it was also in near-perfect condition, graded MS68 by PCGS. That combination made it one of a kind, and when it came to auction, competitive bidding pushed the price through the roof. Final hammer price? $1.4 million. So what makes that particular coin so valuable? It comes down to 3 things: rarity, error, and condition. First, rarity. There may only be 1 or 2 of these coins in existence with that specific error combination from 1989. That's as rare as it gets. Second, the error itself. This isn't your average misprint. A wrong planchet strike is incredibly rare, especially when it happens in a modern coin like the Jefferson nickel from the 1980s. And third, the condition. Most coins you find in circulation are worn, scratched, or damaged. But this one was preserved in nearly flawless condition, something that's extremely difficult to find, especially for an error coin. Now here's the big question. Could you have one of these million-dollar nickels in your collection? It's unlikely, but not impossible. And that's why so many collectors obsess over their pocket change and old coin jars. You just never know what you might find. If you want to check your own 1989 P. Jefferson nickels, here's what to look for. 1. Check the weight. A normal Jefferson nickel weighs exactly 5 grams. If it's off, even slightly, it could be struck on the wrong planchet. Point 2. Examine the coin under magnification. Look for signs of double striking, off-center designs, or unusual coloring and surface texture. Point 3. Look for sharp details and minimal wear. The higher the condition, the higher the value, even for common nickels. And if you think you found something unusual, don't guess. Send it to a professional grading service for authentication. They'll tell you if you've got something truly rare on your hands. Now let's talk numbers. While most 1989 P nickels are worth pocket change, a high-grade MS-67 can sell for $100 to $500 depending on the market. An MS-68, if you can find one, might reach over $1,000. But an error coin, especially one with a wrong planchet and high condition, that's where things jump into the 5-, 6-, and even 7-figure range. Now, it's important to remember that not every old coin is valuable. Age doesn't always equal worth, but rarity, condition, and unique errors can turn the most common coin into a fortune. The story of the 1989 P. Jefferson nickel teaches us a powerful lesson. Never underestimate what might be hiding in plain sight. In a sea of millions of identical coins, just one mistake from the U.S. Mint turned a 5-cent piece into a $1.4 million treasure. Next time you're sorting through your change, pay attention. Because the next millionaire-making coin might just be in your hand right now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about rare coins, mint errors, and the hidden treasures of American currency, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. We've got more incredible stories coming your way. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and who knows, maybe you will be the next lucky person to find a fortune in your pocket. Would you like a version formatted for voiceover narration with breaks and pacing cues? Or a shorter version for YouTube Shorts or TikTok? Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into treasure. If you've ever looked at your spare coins and wondered if they're worth more than face value, you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about a coin that millions of people have seen, used, and ignored. It's the 1994 D. Jefferson nickel, and believe it or not, one version of this 5-cent coin is worth a staggering $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A 5-cent coin that's changed hands countless times could be worth more than a Lamborghini, more than most homes, and more than some people earn in a lifetime. So what makes this 1994 D. Jefferson nickel so special? Let's break it down, from history to design to the incredible story behind one of the rarest and most valuable nickels ever discovered. First, let's talk about where this coin comes from. The Jefferson nickel has been part of American currency since 1938, introduced to replace the Buffalo nickel. The original design was created by Felix Schlag and features a left-facing profile of President Thomas Jefferson on the front, with his home, Monticello, on the back. This design remained virtually unchanged until 2004, making it one of the most stable and familiar coins in circulation. Now let's zoom in on 1994. That year, the U.S. Mint was still using the classic Jefferson design. The coin was struck in 2 locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The 1994 nickels from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while the ones struck in Denver carry a small letter D on the reverse side to the right of Monticello. The Denver Mint produced over 789 million Jefferson nickels in 1994. That's right, nearly 800 million coins, which means the 1994 D nickel is incredibly common. You can still find them in circulation today. In fact, most people don't even think twice about spending them or tossing them into change jars. But here's where things take a surprising turn. In recent years, collectors and grading experts have uncovered rare error versions of the 1994 D. Jefferson nickel that are so unusual and so unique, they've shocked the numismatic world. One specific coin, in near-perfect condition and with a rare mint error, was reportedly valued at over $1.2 million during a private transaction. Let's talk about that coin. The coin was a wrong planchet error, meaning it was struck on a blank disc of metal intended for a completely different coin, possibly a foreign denomination or an experimental alloy. What makes this even more impressive is that the coin was in mint state condition, showing nearly zero wear and sharp, crisp details. The combination of a wrong planchet, flawless strike, and perfect preservation made it one of a kind. This is not your average error coin. We're not talking about a slightly off-center strike or a weak die. This was a full-blown mint blunder that resulted in the creation of a coin that technically should not exist. And when professional graders authenticated it, the numismatic value went through the roof. Now let's get real. Most 1994 D nickels are worth exactly 5 cents. In average condition, even uncirculated ones usually top out at a few bucks. If you find one in high mint state condition, say MS66 or MS67, it might be worth $50 to $100. The highest auction records for typical 1994 D nickels have hovered around $200. Nothing to write home about. But when you introduce a dramatic mint error, especially one involving a wrong planchet or misstrike, the value can multiply thousands of times. Add rarity, add perfect condition, and you suddenly have a coin that collectors will fight over. And that's exactly what happened with the $1,000,000 version of the 1994 D Jefferson nickel. So here's the $1,000,000 question. How can you tell if you have one? Start with the basics. Grab every 1994 D nickel you have and weigh it. A standard nickel should weigh exactly 5 grams. If your coin is even slightly off, for example, 4.5 grams or 5.5, that could be a red flag. You might be dealing with a wrong planchet. Next, look closely at the design. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the details. Look for double striking, unusual coloring, missing parts of the design, or any strange surface texture. Pay special attention to the edges. If the edge looks different from a normal nickel, that could be a clue. Also, check for what's called full steps. These are the horizontal lines on the steps of Monticello on the reverse. A coin with all 6 steps clearly visible is considered a strong strike and is far more valuable. Full steps examples in high grades always draw strong interest from collectors. Now, if you think you've found something unusual, don't try to clean the coin. Don't try to alter it in any way. Instead, send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. These services will verify authenticity, assign a grade, and encapsulate the coin to preserve its value. If your nickel turns out to be something truly rare, it could change your life. Here's another thing to keep in mind. Not all errors are visible to the naked eye. Some of the most valuable coins look ordinary at first glance. That's why it's so important to educate yourself, study the variations, and understand what to look for. The story of the 1994 D. Jefferson nickel teaches us something important. Value isn't always obvious. A coin that millions of people overlook every day could be hiding an incredible mistake. And when that mistake is paired with pristine condition and proper documentation, it can turn into a literal fortune. Imagine finding a coin like that in your pocket change. Imagine buying a soda, getting a nickel back in your change, and realizing it's worth $1.2 million. That's not just a fantasy. That's a real possibility, and it's happened before. So don't ignore your change. Don't toss those nickels aside. Take the time to check, research, and verify, because you never know what you might find. And sometimes, the most ordinary-looking coin can hold an extraordinary secret. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We share real stories about rare coins, valuable errors, and how you can spot treasure hiding in your everyday change. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're checking your 1994 D nickels right now. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and remember, that next $1,000,000 coin could be in your hand right now. Would you like a version of this optimized for a YouTube short or with call to action templates for mid-video retention? Let me know how you're planning to present it, and I can tailor the format further. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the coins that might be hiding in your change jar and worth a fortune. Today we're talking about a coin that millions of people overlook every single day. It's the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it looks like any other 5-cent coin. It's worn, it's dull, and it's been in circulation for decades. But believe it or not, one version of this nickel has been valued at an unbelievable $1.3 million. That's right. $1.3 million for a nickel minted in 1985. And here's the kicker. You could have one of these rare coins sitting in your collection or pocket right now and not even realize it. Let's start with a little background. The Jefferson nickel has been in production since 1938, replacing the iconic Buffalo nickel. The original design was created by Felix Schlag and features a left-facing portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the front and his Virginia estate, Monticello, on the back. This design remained consistent for over 60 years, making it one of the most familiar coins in American history. Now fast forward to 1985. This was a time when the US economy was rebounding from a recession, technology was rapidly advancing, and millions of coins were being pumped into circulation every day. In that year alone, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 500 million Jefferson nickels. Specifically, the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel, with the P mint mark for Philadelphia, was everywhere. Oh, how can a coin that was mass-produced and used by millions of people end up being worth over $1 million? The answer lies in something that's rare, unexpected, and totally accidental: a mint error. A massive one. But before we get to the million-dollar version, let's break down the general value of this coin. For most collectors, a 1985 P. Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is worth just 5 cents. In uncirculated condition, maybe $1 or $2. A high-grade example, like an MS-66 or MS-67, might sell for $50 to $100 if it's certified by PCGS or NGC. Not bad, but nothing groundbreaking. But then there's the other side of the story. In the world of numismatics, errors are everything. And in rare cases, a coin is struck so differently from the standard version that it becomes one of a kind. That's exactly what happened with a particular 1985 P. Jefferson nickel that stunned collectors and grading experts alike. This wasn't just any error. It was a double denomination mint error. That means the coin was struck on a blank planchet that had already been used to strike a different denomination, possibly a cent or a foreign coin. Imagine that. A nickel that was struck over another coin entirely. You can actually see the ghostly outline of the other coin underneath the Jefferson design. And that kind of mistake simply should not happen at the US Mint. But it did. The coin was submitted to a professional grading service, authenticated, and certified as a genuine double denomination error. And not only that, it was in nearly flawless mint state condition. We're talking about a coin with exceptional luster, razor-sharp detail, and a dramatic, unmistakable error. Because of its rarity, condition, and the sheer wow factor, this coin caught the attention of elite collectors. Eventually, it was sold in a private auction for a reported $1.3 million. That's 5 cents transformed into 7 figures. All because of one accident at the mint.s. Oh, what should you be looking for? Let's walk through a quick checklist to help you identify a valuable 1985 P. Jefferson nickel. First, check for the P mint mark, located to the right of Jefferson's portrait. That tells you it was minted in Philadelphia. Next, weigh the coin. A normal Jefferson nickel should weigh exactly 5 grams. If your coin is lighter or heavier, it may have been struck on the wrong planchet. Now examine the coin's surface. Look for any signs of overlapping designs, double impressions, or features that seem out of place. A double denomination coin will often show elements of 2 different coins on the same planchet. For example, you might see part of a Lincoln Memorial from a penny mixed with Monticello from the nickel. Also check for full steps on Monticello. A coin that has a clear, uninterrupted set of steps is considered a strong strike and is always more valuable. Even without an error, a full steps 1985 P nickel in high grade can fetch several $100s. Finally, if your coin looks suspicious or unusual, do not clean it and do not attempt to sell it on your own. Instead, send it to a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation. If it turns out to be an authentic error coin, you could be sitting on a gold mine. So why do these mistakes happen at all? Even though the US Mint has some of the most advanced equipment in the world, no system is perfect. Sometimes planchets get mixed up. Sometimes a coin gets struck twice or struck on the wrong metal. When it happens and the error makes it out into circulation, that coin becomes a rare and valuable piece of American history. And the truth is, no one really knows how many more of these rare 1985 P nickels might be out there. Could be a few, could be none, or maybe, just maybe, one is still floating around in someone's change jar, waiting to be discovered. Let that sink in for a moment. A coin that most people would ignore, spend, or throw into a vending machine could be worth $1.3 million. That's not just the power of collecting. That's the power of knowing what to look for. So what can you do today? Go check your spare change. Look through your old coin rolls, your coin jars, and anywhere you've stored nickels over the years. Pay close attention to any 1985 P. Jefferson nickels. Weigh them. Examine the surfaces. Look for signs of doubling or planchet errors. And if you find something truly strange, get it graded. Because at the end of the day, someone out there found the $1 million nickel. And if it happened once, it can happen again. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new or feel inspired to start checking your coins more carefully, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We've got tons of coin stories, rare error spotlights, and collecting tips coming your way. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and remember, the next $1 million nickel could be in your pocket right now. Would you like help turning this into a short-form version for YouTube Shorts or a script outline for visual storytelling with B-roll suggestions and on-screen captions?